Hi, Future Broncos. My name is Rebecca Steele, and I am one of the counselors here at Lee Summit North High School. We are super excited to have you here next year, and we just want to provide you with a little bit of information about Lee Summit North, what the enrollment process looks like, and give you, hopefully answer all the questions that you have as you're transitioning over to the high school. So here today to present a few things, we have a PowerPoint to go through first that just kind of talks about general information, graduation requirements, etc. Then we will move into showing you how to actually request courses in PowerSchool along with our enrollment website to provide you with all the information that you need. So you can refer back to this at any time if you need to, and also to the PowerPoint at any time if you need to, but just want to get started here and try not to take too much of your time, hopefully only about 20 minutes or so as we go through this PowerPoint together, or through this video together. So first and foremost, let me present the PowerPoint. Get this up here. All right, so hopefully on your end, you are seeing now the Welcome to High School class of 2027, again, enrollment for your freshman year. And all three high schools are utilizing the same PowerPoint because we have students coming from 4 different middle schools now. And so we are all utilizing the same PowerPoint, but this one is specific to Lee Summit North. So moving forward, first and foremost, we'll start with our student goals. So the goals for students across Lee Summit are going to be to first and foremost grow and be challenged to grow academically. That's why you're here at high school, and is to grow and get ready for life beyond high school. And so we really want to challenge you to grow academically and taking, the hardest courses that you're able to take, the most rigorous courses that you're able to take, while also finding balance. And we'll talk about that a little bit when we get into the courses themselves. We want you to develop a focus emphasizing interest and abilities. So while you're here, we want to help you learn what you like and what you don't like, help prep you for whatever it is you're planning to do beyond high school. And so we are going to help you explore those different areas of interest and different abilities every year of high school to help prepare you for the future. We really want you to get involved in activities at your high school. So when we enroll new students at Lee Summit North, this is the number one thing we recommend to them. Get involved while you're in high school. You're going to feel more connected to your peers, going to feel more connected to your school. And in addition to that, studies do show that students who are involved tend to do better academically as well. So we strongly encourage you to get involved. We have tons of clubs and activities available to you, which we'll show on the next slide. So definitely consider while you're here in high school getting involved in those activities. And then finally, again, all of this leads to preparing you for the future. We want you to be a well-rounded individual who leaves high school in May of 2027 feeling like you have a plan for the next steps. We don't want you to walk across that stage in May of 2027 just not knowing what you want to do next, or knowing at least what steps you want to take next. So we do want to help prepare you for the future and make sure you're ready to go. Getting involved in activities, I mentioned this in the previous slide, but this is huge, guys. We encourage you to strongly consider getting involved in activities while you're in high school, and there's just so much available to you while you're here. So we have athletic teams during every season, fall, winter, and spring, that you can participate in. In addition to that, we have clubs, all sorts of clubs available to you. So open membership clubs where you can just show up and you're a part of that club. And so those would be medical club. We have a trap masters program, like a trap shooting, youth and government, anime, book club, all kinds of things available to you. We have an extensive list of those on the Lee Summit North webpage that you can look at under the activities section. So please definitely take a look at those and see if there's any clubs out there that you would be interested in joining. In addition to that, if you don't see a club that you are wanting to get started, that is also an option for you as well once you get to Lee Summit North. Third, co-curricular clubs. So examples of these would be foreign language programs, ROTC, debate, band. What that simply means is that you have to either audition for or be involved in a specific class in order to be a part of those. So perfect example is ROTC. They have a lot of opportunities outside of the school day, but you have to be involved in the ROTC class in order to be able to participate in those. So that's an example of a co-curricular organization. Our graduation requirements, obviously this is probably one of the most important slides in this entire presentation, but I do want to go over those with you in detail. So we require 26 credits to graduate from any of the Lee Summit high schools. And so the breakdown of that is you have to have 4 units of English, or 4 years of English, English 9, English 10, 11, and 12. You also have to have social studies, 3 years of social studies. So a year-long class is American history, freshman year. world history your sophomore year, and then there's 2 semester-long classes your junior year, American Government and MGI, a class called Modern Global Issues. Also junior year, if you don't want to go that route, you also have the option to take a class called IB History, International Baccalaureate History, and that would be a 2-year commitment, both junior and senior year, 11th and 12th grade years. So math, at least 3 years of math. One of those, so you have at least 3 years, but we actually encourage you to take a 4th year of math. If you are at all considering a 2-year or a 4-year college or technical school, many of those schools are going to want to see 4 math on your transcript. Even if they don't require 4 math, that's going to help prepare you for whatever math you have to take at the college level. So that's just something to strongly consider, even though the district only requires 3 years of math. Science, at least 3 years of science. So as a freshman next year, you'll take either biology or advanced studies biology. As a sophomore, you'll take a physical science of some sort. So maybe fundamentals of physics and chemistry, or chemistry 1 or advanced studies chemistry. And then your junior year, the third science is your choice. So you have a lot of different options for that junior year science. You'll also take a semester of a health class. So even though you take that in 8th grade, you do take that again once you get to high school. You'll take a full year of practical art or 2 semester classes of practical art. That would be anything in business and computers, family and consumer science, and or engineering and industrial tech. And also mention here that any of our career centers also count for practical art credit. So that would be like your Summit Technology Academy, junior and senior year, Herndon Career Center. We'll go into a little more detail in a few minutes on those, but those would all count for practical art as well. Fine art is going to be anything in the music, art, or theater department. And so that you need a full year of that or 2 semester courses of art before you graduate. In PE, you need a full year of PE. So those are going to be a semester of a class called Foundations of Fitness. That one everyone is required to take. And then the other half credit is your choice. You get to choose on that other half credit of PE what you want to take. Personal finance, that's a junior level class, but you're going to take that. It's a state requirement. I think it's an awesome class. It's very practical. It helps you learn how to manage your finances, how to budget, how to invest, etc. So it's very practical information. And then elective credits. And electives are going to be anything above and beyond a minimum requirement. So an example of that is if you are in band your freshman year, the first year you take that class, it's going to count towards your fine art requirement. Every year after that, your sophomore, junior, senior year, that band class now becomes elective credit because you've already fulfilled the fine art requirement. So that just anything that builds on itself will then count for elective. And then other elective credits would be anything like ROTC, modern language. We do not require modern language for graduation purposes in the Lee Summit District, but many colleges want to see you have at least 2 years of a language on your transcript. And so that would also count towards elective credits. So by the time you get to being an 11th and 12th grader, junior, senior year, a lot of your credits are going towards elective because you've already fulfilled your PE or you've already fulfilled your practical art or your fine art. So they now start going towards electives. All right, additional requirements. We do require 10 hours of community service to graduate. This is something you can actually start the summer after your 8th grade year if you'd like to get started that early. It's not a requirement, but encourage you to get it knocked out as soon as you're able to. So summer after 8th grade year is when you can start on this. And by the time you finish in spring of your senior year, you have to have these 10 hours done. There is a community service log at Lee Summit North that you can fill out and have the supervisor, whoever is supervising you in that community service, they sign off on that. And then once you have your 10 hours, you just turn that back into us. So, and we do have a community service website on our webpage that you can also look at if you need ideas for your community service. We also have a CPR requirement for graduation. You're not getting full-blown CPR certified, but there is a test that you must take to get your CPR requirement. That is given in the Foundations of Fitness class that's required for graduation purposes. In addition to that, you have a civics exam. You'll take this in your American history class your freshman year. And on that civics exam, you guys prep for that and you take it in that class. But if you don't pass it the first time, you can take it as often as you need to, as many times as you need to until you pass it. But you have to have it completed before you can graduate. And then finally, Missouri and U.S. Constitution exams. So those are also graduation requirements that you have to take during your government class junior year or your IB history class junior year. Again, you prep for those, you study for those as a class. But if you don't pass it the first time, you are able to retake those tests as many times as you need to before May of that senior year so that you can graduate. So all of those additional requirements must be met before you can walk at graduation your senior year. So what is a credit exactly? I've been talking about credits, but what does that actually mean? So credits are earned as you pass classes in high school. An example is if you get an F in a class, you do not get credit for that class at the high school level. So that means, for example, if you did not pass your English 9 course first semester, you got an F in that course, you are going to have to retake that course in order to get that half credit. So credits are hugely important. Again, we have to get all the way to 26 before we graduate. All of you are more than capable of passing all classes on the first try, but we just want to make sure we try to avoid those Fs as much as possible. Second, or a half credit is earned per semester for each class the student passes. So we do a semester system at the high school level, so a fall semester and a spring semester. So in the fall, most of you will take 7 classes, and once we pass all 7 of those, you'll get 3.5 credits because they're each worth a half credit. And then in a full school year, if you've taken a full load, 7 courses each semester, you'll get 7 full credits. So if you think about the math on that, 26 are required to graduate, 7 times 4 is 28. So you actually have a little bit of wiggle room built in, but not a ton. So many of you will earn more than the 26 credits required to graduate, but just kind of want to give you a breakdown of what that means. Sample choices for a freshman. So this is what a freshman schedule may look like. So all of you will take English next year, either English 9 or Advanced Studies English 9. You'll all take social studies. You'll either take American history or advanced studies American history. You'll all take a math course of some sort, and there's a lot of different routes in math depending on what you're taking in 8th grade. So your teachers will recommend you for your course next year, but there's a lot of different options, so I'm not going to go through all of those. And then science, you'll be either taking biology or advanced studies biology. And then beyond that, those 4 cores, you get 3.0 additional electives. So those are your choices. That's where you get some choice in what you select next year. Many of you will take a modern language. Again, it's not required for graduation purposes, but a lot of colleges want to see those 2 years of modern language at least. And so some of you are already enrolled in a modern language. Some of you may want to take one next year. We have 4 modern languages. We have French, Spanish, German, and Mandarin Chinese. So that might be one of your electives. In addition to that, then you may want to take music, band, ROTC. By the way, our ROTC program is labeled ASL, Aerospace Science and Leadership. So that gets a little tricky for students sometimes because they think they're signing up for sign language. We do not offer sign language. So if you see ASL, that's ROTC. But you may want to take a business class, fax class, so on and so forth, and that's how you fill those other elective credits. One thing I highly encourage you is on those PEs and those health classes to knock those out freshman and sophomore years and not wait on those until junior and senior year for graduation purposes. Advanced level classes. So what's the difference between a regular class and an advanced level class? So truthfully, all of our classes are college preparatory, but advanced classes are there for anyone who has a really strong interest in a specific subject matter. So if you really enjoy science, you may want to take advanced studies biology next year. Remember, the biggest thing is having a balance. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, but you also don't want to not challenge yourself enough. And so really take that into consideration as you're signing up for your courses next year. You want to find some balance in what you're signing up for. And your teachers are providing you with recommendations as well. So that is something you'll be able to refer to when we get to the screen that shows you how to request courses for next year. So advanced level courses are basically going to go, in most cases, at a faster pace and dive a little bit deeper into the subject matter, right? So because it's going quicker, you're probably going to get through more material and dive a little bit deeper into that material. And additionally, it may also include more independent work outside of your class. So those are just things to consider as you're signing up for those advanced studies classes. Classes that have applications, you can see it's broken down by high school, but at Lee Summit North, we do require an application for our yearbook program, as well as our News for Print and Online program, which is our newspaper. So if you want to be involved in either yearbook or newspaper, and you want to sign up for those for next year, you must fill out an application. Otherwise, we'll have to pull you out of those classes in the fall. So those are linked here on our PowerPoint, but in addition to that, they're on our enrollment website, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. Also AVID, that's Advancement Via Individual Determination. That's a program that students are referred for by their 8th grade teachers. And so if you're referred for AVID later this year, you and your parents, guardians will be getting more information about that. So just take a look for that if later down the line, if you're referred for AVID, you'll learn more about that. Learning labs. So we do offer learning labs, which are basically just study halls that you can put in your schedule for next year if you're interested in that. They do not count for credit, so that's something that you have to have on your radar. You can't take a learning lab every semester of high school and still get enough credits to graduate because they don't count for credit. So what we say is max of 4 semesters of learning lab. All right. So maybe you want to take 1 semester every school year. So in the fall, maybe you're very busy. You play football and you are in band. That's an example. Maybe you want to build some time into your schedule to get homework done because you know you're going to be really busy that semester. So, or maybe you're just a little bit nervous about this transition to high school and you want to kind of have that learning lab in your schedule that first semester to just kind of give yourself a way to ease in. That would be something that you could place in that schedule in the fall. And you get to choose whether you do that in the fall or the spring semester if you want one of these. A learning lab is a structured study time. You are expected to work on academics that time, so studying, research, preparing for tests, etc. We provide you a space, and somebody will be supervising that learning lab, and you just work on your coursework. Preparing for off-campus classes. So we have a lot of different options for you when you get to junior and senior year, particularly. All of our career centers, we have 3 different career centers, are all junior and senior year programs. So Herndon is off campus in Raytown. They offer a lot of hands-on programs such as auto mechanics, diesel mechanics, auto collision. They have a cosmetology program. They have HVAC. They have physical therapy, but very hands-on programs. So those are some examples from Herndon. Cass Career Center is down in Harrisonville, and they have programs in fire science as well as agriculture, and even a new crime scene investigation program, which is kind of neat. We haven't had many students do that yet, but looking forward to seeing how that one goes. And then Summit Technology Academy here in Lee Summit, lots of programs in medicine and Teacher Education Academy. They have computer science. They have creative sciences courses such as digital media technology, where you're learning audio production, visual production. They also have engineering courses. I think I already mentioned medical programs. So lots of different options there at Summit Technology Academy as well. Senior year, there are work internships available to you where you can get credit for working outside of the school day. And there's also a program called Early College Program through a partnership with Longview, where junior or senior year, you could take some classes at Lee Summit North and some classes over at Longview Community College and get credit, both high school and college credit for those. So I won't go into too much detail on those, but we do have those linked here and on our enrollment website if you want to learn more. Biggest thing for 8th graders is knowing that there could be prerequisites for some of those courses junior, senior year. So you need to make sure things are built into your schedule as a freshman and sophomore to make sure that you have what you need for those courses. Next, after high school, check out what is required. This is huge, guys. So you need to make sure that as you're enrolling for courses, especially once you get to junior and senior year, you're taking courses that, may be prerequisites for whatever college you're applying to as well, if you are looking at a 2-year or 4-year college or university. Or maybe you're going into a technical program and making sure you have taken some of those hands-on courses that are going to help prepare you for that career field. Maybe you're going straight into the workforce in the military, but we still want to make sure that you have taken courses that are going to prepare you to be ready to go straight into that career or that workforce or the military. So those are things to be thinking about as we're enrolling in courses. NCAA and NAIA, as well as MSHA eligibility. So if you are a student who hopes to play college athletics after high school, so at the college level, there are specific requirements that you must meet while you're in high school in order to be eligible. There's a GPA requirement. There's going to be potentially an ACT requirement on the ACT college entrance exam, and there is a certain number of core classes that you have to take while in high school. So we can't emphasize this enough, but if you are looking at playing college sports beyond high school, you want to make sure and schedule an appointment with your high school counselor freshman or sophomore year of high school so we can make sure you're on track. I'd say the earlier the better that you can do that so we can get you that information. Also, you can go to NCAA's eligibility website or NAIA's eligibility website to get all the information there. But we'd love to sit down with you and kind of have that chat and make sure you're staying on track with those things. It is your responsibility and your parent or guardian's responsibility, though, to make sure you meet those eligibility requirements. In addition, MSHA is high school activities. So Missouri State High School Activities Association also has requirements that you must meet every semester to stay eligible for those things like athletics, debate, choir, competitions, etc. So you have to be enrolled in and passing 6 classes every semester to make sure you stay eligible for your athletics or your debate or competitive dramatics, etc. Anything that competes at the high school level, you do need to make sure that you're enrolled in and passing 6 classes at all times. So just some information on eligibility purposes. A career and educational planning guide. This is now published for next year. So this awesome guide, it's all virtual now, but it has a review of your grad requirements, community service information, MISHA, NCAA, talks about the importance of rigor and advanced classes, a list of online courses, talks about our A+ program, career interest clusters and inventories as well for you to take a look at. I highly encourage you to take some time and look at that. All right, so as far as our enrollment checklist goes, things that you need to make sure when you're signing up is that you're enrolled in a full 7 hours, so 7 classes each semester, 7.0 credits, or for example, if you're taking a learning lab, it might only be 6.5, but you filled 7 hours school day. You've listed alternate courses in the alternate section, so we'll talk about that in a second. Did you check your recommendations from your teachers? Although that it's always your choice on whether or not you follow that recommendation. We have, your teachers have provided you with the recommendations that they're in the core classes that they're providing for next year. Did you meet the course prerequisites? And then did you fill an application for a class if it's required? So again, only 2 classes that we have right up front are required, applications are required, yearbook and newspaper. Enrollment process in PowerSchool. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to stop presenting here and present on a different slide. So one of the handouts that you were provided is a pink kind of salmon form. This lists all of the different courses that are available to you your freshman year of high school. So this is what you're going to use as a reference to be able to see what's available to you. So it breaks it down by department. So first you'll see English, communication arts, then you'll see modern language, then social studies, math, science, music, theater, business, so on and so forth. So this is your guide as you're starting to sign up for courses, and the online courses are on the back as well. So you can see all the in-person courses along with the online courses. So this is just kind of your worksheet to use as a guide as you're registering. But the instructions, the other page we've given you, is going to tell you specifically how you go into PowerSchool and register. So that's the part I want to show you real quick so that you have an example of what this looks like. So I'm going to go to a sample screen. So on your in your PowerSchool, you'll have a link over here on the left-hand side that says class registration. All right, so when you get into that, it should show you 23, 24. You need to make sure all of your courses are entered depending on the school that you're at. Really depends on how soon you have to have these entered, but as soon as possible. And so definitely by the time that the counselors come back over to meet with you a second time, you need to have your courses entered in PowerSchool. So what you'll do is you'll start with your English class, and you can see here, I'm just going to check a box. You can see right now which course I was recommended for. My teacher has plugged that in, and I can check whatever box I choose here as far as English, Advanced Studies English 9 or English 9. All right. You need to make sure that you see here some of the classes are online. If you're not actually registering for an online class, you need to not check the online one. So if I want to register for English 9, I need to make sure I'm registering for my in-person, or if I'm wanting to take it online, I need to register for online. In addition to choosing Advanced Studies English 9 or English 9, some of you may have been recommended for Reading Lab or Reading Strategies. That's an additional course that you can sign up for if you have that recommendation. Or if you're in our ELL program, you may see Sheltered English recommended for you there. So, but again, everyone will check either Advanced Studies English 9 or English 9. And you can see once I hit OK, that puts it in my box. And it's going to start tallying how many courses I've requested at this point. If I'm interested in a program in the English Language Arts elective, I can sign up for those, but I don't have to. But let's say I'm interested in participating in debate next year, I can click that, and that adds that to my course choices. So now I'm at 2 credits. Moving down to modern language, let's say I am currently in German 1, and next year I want to take German 2. I've been recommended to move on. I can hit German 2. So now I'm at 3 credits. Remember, trying to fill a 7-hour school day. You're going to be required to fill out your social studies, required to fill out your math, And again, I told you there are lots of different things in math. So you can see here all the different courses in math. So take a look at your teacher recommendation there. Science. And then beyond that, now you get some choice in this. So like I said, I encourage students to knock out their physical education and their health their freshman year. If you're interested in the ROTC program that's listed here, business classes, fine art classes, but you can take a look around. Essentially, this matches exactly what's on this salmon form. So everything on there should also be listed in PowerSchool. You should see that here to be able to choose from. So once you've filled your 7-hour day, you're also going to be required to make alternate choices. So when you click here, you can see those alternates. It's going to basically pull up the same list that was available to you in person, but now as alternates. We require you to fill out 4 alternates. And guys, let me emphasize, I cannot emphasize this enough. Your alternates should not be the same courses as your first choices. They need to actually be alternate classes. If we can't get a first choice in your schedule for some reason, we have to go to a backup. Okay. It doesn't happen too often with freshmen, but sometimes maybe you take band and you take, an example might be a Chinese course, and those are only offered the same hour. Hopefully that's not the case, but if it were, then we would have to go to an alternate choice in that case. Okay, so that's important that those alternates are not the same as your first choices. So you'll put your alternates in there. Your screen will show submit here at the bottom. So once you've entered your 7 choices, your 7 credits, and your 4 alternates, you will hit the submit button, and that will be you completing your registration for your classes next year. All right. So these are your courses that you're requesting for 23-24. It's really important that you get this done before your deadline next week. All right. Or before your school's deadline. So I will come out of that. I just wanted to show that to you so you know how to get into that program. Also want to show you 2 additional websites really quickly before we wrap up. So the first is going to be the Lee Summit North Enrollment website. This is linked in the PowerPoint as well, but I'm just going to go to a tab and show this to you. And so if you go to the enrollment website here, this is on the homepage of Lee Summit North High School, so you can find this if you just go to our homepage. But it's got 23-24 enrollment information. So specifically for incoming freshmen, the biggest thing I want to just tell you is about our course applications with yearbook and with newspaper. If you are looking to apply for either of the classes next year, you can find the intro to yearbook application here, and you can find the newspaper application here as well. You do have to get those turned in if you're going to apply. Also, if you forget how to enter course requests, there's a video here that shows you a direct link to our career and educational planning guide. So what this does, in addition to all the other things, it gives you a description of every single class that we offer at Lee Summit North. So guys, you're going to high school, you need to make educated decisions about what you sign up for next year. If you come in the fall and you say, well, I signed up for this course, but I didn't really know what I was signing up for, I didn't read the description, guys, that's not a good way to go. So, and you're probably going to be stuck in that course. So just make sure you go and use the career and educational planning guide so that you can read those course descriptions and learn more about what those classes that you're signing up for. It's really important. Also, our enrollment timeline is listed here. Spring enrollment confirmation or spring enrollment conferences. These are required for you. You and your parents will come to one of these. It's about a 15-minute appointment. It's the last step of enrollment, so you do need to get registered for those. One of the nights is in person at Lee Summit North. One of them is virtual, so you can see that information here. Spring enrollment conference is where you finalize everything. It's your very last step of enrollment. If you want to make any changes that night, you can. But after that point, we're locked in. We start building the master schedule with those course choices you've requested. And then finally, at the bottom, there's information about our parent night that's coming up for incoming freshmen. If you're not able to attend that, or your parents or guardians are not able to attend that, we will be recording that evening, and we'll have a video up on this page by February 17th. But we hope you guys are able to make it. There'll be an IB, International Baccalaureate informational piece, followed by information from our principal, Dr. Collins, and counselors, and some students, and then an activities and department fair, so that you and your family can go through and learn about different activities that we have available and different electives that we offer. So that's the enrollment website. I wanted to share that with you. The very last thing I want to show you is going to be our summer school website. So let me show you one more tab. Summer school is also linked on that enrollment page, but summer school information, we get a lot of questions about this, so I want to make sure and share this with you. Summer school dates are already listed here, so you can see the 2023 school dates. It is over at Lee Summit West again. So it has been traditionally alternating high schools, but I think this is the last year. The administrator at Lee Summit West is going to be leading summer school, and so they are going to have it over at Lee Summit West again. And so you can see here the dates for summer school. There are 2 sessions. So you can take a class 1 session number 1, and you could take a class session number 2. We also have some classes like our PE classes that go over both sessions. So 26-day classes. The PE classes specifically and health are going to be offered at Pleasantly Middle School, not at Lee Summit West High School. A lot of these courses are also offered online. So if you go to the course info, you can see which classes are offered in person and which classes are offered online. Biggest thing here I want to share is how to register and when to register. Summer school opens up February 22nd, 2023. You have to do summer school registration through PowerSchool. All right. So it gives you instructions on how to do that. But on February 22nd at 3 p.m., that'll open to you, and you guys are welcome to get registered for that. All right. Some years our PE classes and our health classes fill. They only have so many teachers that can teach those courses. So it's not a guarantee if you're trying to wait on PE or health. It's not a guarantee that you'll get into those courses in the summer. So that's just something to kind of have on your radar up front. All right, I'm going to stop presenting that information, finish up the PowerPoint, and then I think that'll be the last step. So let me look here and finish up our Google Slides. I've shared with you how to register in PowerSchool. You need to make sure and do that ASAP. Schedule building process after we get those final spring enrollment conferences are done. Again, we're going to use your requests, every student's request to start building our master schedule. We're going to try to get you all your first choices, and usually with freshmen we can, but we will use alternates as needed, and then you'll receive your schedule in August during registration. So choose wisely. Make sure you're looking at the Career and Educational Planning Guide to get the course information, the course descriptions. And then specific links to the enrollment website. I already showed this with you, but there are links here to each of the high school's enrollment web pages. And then the final part is questions. So if you do have questions, just make sure that you reach out to either your middle school counselor or to any of us here at Lee Summit North High School, and we would be happy to answer any of those questions. Or if you're coming to our parent night on the 9th, we can answer those as well. We appreciate it, guys. I'm going to let you go. And again, we're excited to have you here next year. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. All the counselors here are wonderful, and we'd be happy to help you in any way, shape, or form. Take care, guys. Thank you.